Let's talk for just a second about bonds or fixed income. Bonds have been in the news recently over the last, say, 12 to 18 months in a negative context. That is, they have not performed well over the last 12 to 18 months, which is pretty unusual historically. Typically, bonds are going to be positive most years. In fact, out of the last 50 years, you'd struggle to find a few years that they were actually negative. Why is that? Well, the primary reason that bonds were down the last year is because when the Fed raises rates in the current market, the short-term interest rates that we hear about all the time, it causes the value on your bonds on your statement on paper to actually go down. Now, that doesn't necessarily affect the interest that you're earning, the quality of the bond. It just is what it is. It's down in value because of some current happening. This time happens to be the Fed raising rates. But right now, I would argue that fixed income or bonds of many different types have a unique opportunity going forward. That is, I believe that they have double the appeal. And what do I mean by that? Basically, what I mean by that is, number one, 2 years ago, most bonds might have been paying somewhere between 1 or 2%. Today, maybe 4, 5, 6+%, depends on the quality of the bond, how long the bond is, all of those different circumstances. But all being equal, they're paying much better rates today than they were 12 to 18 months ago. The second thing that people need to keep in mind about bonds is, we mentioned earlier about how when the short-term rates go up, the value of bonds go down. Well, you're probably already got the wheels turning that the opposite can also be true. That is, when someday the Fed pauses, which is likely, or has to lower rates because the economy is slowing too quickly, when they lower rates, the value of your bonds can actually go up in value. So there is the opportunity, at least, that there's a couple of ways to make money on your bonds. Number one, much better rates today to lock in than maybe a few years ago. Number two, maybe some appreciation in the coming years if the Fed were to pause or lower rates in the short-term environment.